Welcome back to Mountain Outpost. I am your host, Zach Marion. This is the pre-race interviews for Run Rabbit Run. We are sitting here in beautiful Steamboat Springs, and I am joined by the ever irreverent, always a good time, heck of an athlete, Grant Barnette. Grant, how are you doing?
Hey, great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, it's our pleasure. We love the personality you bring to the sport. We hope to see some of that this weekend here at the Run Rabbit Run 100 miler. Historically, you're known as a bit of a short distance guy, but you've dabbled into these hundreds. This is not your first rodeo here, right?
Yeah. I needed to do some soul searching before this race and other 100-milers, and it still gets hard.
Yeah, one thing I can confirm is that I think I've got 13 or 14 under my belt. I don't think they ever get easier. You might get faster, but it never gets easier. Mile 70 is still mile 70, no matter how you cut it. So you have had some success in the past. Grindstone specifically was a great race for you. What do you look to take from those kinds of races and bring into this?
Well, I would not have considered Grindstone a great race by any means. Was definitely battling kind of some calf issues going into the race, but nutritionally, I was still trying to find my way, per se, in the sport. So the fact that I started working with precision and my nutrition is complete 180 now, to where it's not normal for me to puke in any race now, which is awesome. So
you mean that's not standard? That doesn't just you're not supposed to do that?
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was.
It sounds like, you've got a host of great partnerships. You're working with Kraft, Pit Viper, Precision, and we've seen you kind of ascend over the years. Those who have been watching have seen you kind of ascend over the years. You've got a plethora of podiums under your belt. You've got a pretty stacked race tomorrow. You got a lot of good talent you're going up against. Two questions on this. One, who are you most looking forward to race? And what part of the course are you most looking forward to?
I think for me, we have I've got a local buddy out here, Zach Gardner, as well, and we had shared significant mileage during the DC Peaks 50 miler, so I'm really looking forward to running with him. Also, a few Kraft teammates, Arlen Glick and Tommy Sullivan. So I'm super excited to hopefully share some miles with them, which I'm sure we will. I'm most looking forward to the 20-mile climb out of Olympian when the race really starts. I think that's where things will be put in perspective the best.
Yeah, I mean, how do you foresee your day going? And this course has had a few iterations. I've run a couple of them myself. They were different both times, but I can say every single time when you leave Olympian Hall and you head back up into the mountains, it's always a crusher of a time. But I want to know from you, how do you envision this race playing out tomorrow? Where do you think the breaks are going to be made? Tell me about it.
Well, it's always tough, especially judging from previous experiences where my buddy Adam Loomis and Rich and Tyler Green, they kind of took off, and then the rest of the pack doesn't really touch them very much. I think this race will be whoever's the most conservative through that first 50 miles. I think they're really going to be the ones that are able to really push that last climb, or essentially that 20-mile climb out of Olympian. So, for me, I envision going really slow for quite a while. We'll see how the packs are kind of formed. I'll just try and be at the very back of that first pack, hopefully, or second pack. And just throughout the course, hoping to just, hopefully the gut stays good. I feel like I do better at altitude. Mm-hmm. So I really think once, that big climb out of Olympian happens, that's where, if I'm not in contention, I will try to be in contention there.
Yeah, I think it's a really good place in the course to start making some moves and start chasing people at that point, or creating a larger gap, depending on how the day is playing out. Don't want to take anything off the table. So speaking of higher elevation, you do have quite a ski background. Mm-hmm. I want to talk a little bit about your training philosophy. If anyone goes through and is looking at your race history, you've got races back to 2018. And you've got some skimo under your belt as well. Has your training philosophy evolved in the last 7-8 years? Do you feel like you've learned how specifically to attack the big mountain trail ultras? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I think when I moved to Salt Lake City, Utah in 2019, that really put things into perspective for me, as if like there are other ways to cross train and get fit rather than just running all year round. I think that's maybe a big mistake a lot of people make. So implementing that schemo or just big mountain days where you're not running per se is really a great benefit for kind of reaching that next tier of level there. But yeah, I mean, I think it just kind of fires on all cylinders and on the schemo, especially aerobic, hardly any stress on the legs unless if you're, bombing the downhills and hitting jumps and everything. But yeah, I think you kind of hit a few different tiers there that really help you out when the summer does come around and you're not just like, oh man, like, I've been running since December or started in January all year round. So I think just having those other things to kind of fall back on for mental and physical capabilities is really nice.
Yeah, I think the Euros have something figured out, man. They're doing something right over there in the mountains. I want to touch on, a couple things. Like, we'll talk about Salt Lake being just a hotbed of incredible athletes. I think that it was about the time you moved in there. It wasn't too long after that I moved out of there, and like I feel like I missed this burgeoning trail mecca. Like, keep it quiet, no one wants to tell anyone about it, but it's Salt Lake, man. It's once you go there, this is the place to be. Tell me what it's like to train out there with the likes of the Tyler Greens, and you have so many other great friends out there. Like, what's the crew situation like? Seems like it's not hard to find a weekend where you're like, hey, you guys want to do something stupid? And everyone's like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Well, literally, I think, accessibility is the name of the game. And I think Salt Lake City checks all the boxes in that category. But, it's pretty crazy. Just even Caleb Olson, for instance, being able just to, chat with him and go on little runs with him, even before he was, the Western States champ, was pretty awesome. To see people's progression around you as well just puts this huge fire in your stomach that man, you can have your day, so it's not like they're training in different areas or anything. We all kind of run in the same general areas, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. Sometimes we'll meet up for a run and there'll be Anthony Casales, Jimmy Elam, Tyler Green, Adam Loomis, Zach Gardner, Caleb Olson. So it's just it's wild to be like, oh, we're just on a nice Wednesday group run here, and we're just surrounded by this talent, and it just makes you want to push harder and get better.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that's kind of what I think I've seen in Salt Lake is what it was lacking previously was that camaraderie. And I think once you get, one or two really great athletes out there that start to feed off each other, and then more come into the fold, it's this huge positive energy that just keeps rolling and feeding. And I mean, you named off some names that have taken down some serious races and podiums all over the place. Mm-hmm. I think that there's something to be said about Utah being kind of
it's hot.
Kind of the next big thing, Boulder what, Flagstaff, old news, man. It's all about the Salt Lake City.
Clean air quality is overrated anyway.
So. I mean, if you get high enough, you can get out of the inversion.
Literally, yeah.
So just go sit on top of Mount Olympus and you're set. You're fine. Park City's not too far away. It's clear. That's what I always do. Just jump out to Park City. So yeah, I do kind of want to talk about we discussed training philosophy a little bit. Are you more of a high volume guy, high intensity? Do you blend it? What's your thought process, and how's your training been leading up to this race?
I think usually I train for races depending on what that race entails. For hundreds, I always feel like you don't really need a tremendous amount of speed work unless it's a Western States or quite a flatter race there. But for a race like this, my training was basically, I think the biggest thing was just don't overdo it. There's so many people that, can run 100 miles a week and such. But I just think for myself, it was all about, a lot of volume, getting up to a number where it's acceptable when you're not overdoing it. Implementing a ton of weightlifting for me personally. I used to have a lot of little niggles that would kind of continue to build up. So getting in the weight room was massive for me. And also not doubling. I don't really double much throughout the week. I just kind of single runs and take that day off. Take that Monday or whatever day you have off. I don't care about run streaks, it's right on, but I just think it's one of those things where man, your body, we're pushing our body to the absolute limit, we need that day off. So
right. Yeah. If you're training right, that day off is like a welcomed, like, I need this, this is what's going to help me get through the next block, the next week, whatever. I've always had the thought process, the idea of like off days is still training.
Yeah.
Like that's, you train hard, train easy, like whatever it is, you're still training, you're doing the right work. So it's a really great, perspective to take into it. And I think that like also from what I've seen in the sport, at least, and my 2 cents is it leads to a lot of just an endurance in the sport that allows you to stick around for a while.
Exactly.
And versus, having those few good years where you're burning 200 miles a week and then you're done.
Literally.
We've seen that happen way too many times in this sport. But, one of the things that I personally appreciate about you is, for anyone who doesn't follow your Instagram, they really need to go follow you on social because you bring such a fun, irreverent energy to the sport that is like, it's playful. It's like clearly your results show that you're serious about what you're doing and you don't take the work lightly. You put in the work, you do the things. This isn't just some like, oh, I'm goofy and like just happen to be up front. Like, no, you do the work, but you also make it fun. You make it lighthearted. Like, tell me a little bit about like your internal monologue during one of these races. Like, or do we want to know? Do I need to have like the censor button ready? But
a couple bleeps. No, I mean, I just think I think we all forget why we're doing this sometimes. I think the ultimate reasoning for myself is, I think we're all battling something out there. And I think that, I don't know, seriousness is kind of overrated. I don't know. I just believe you should really just have fun in whatever you're doing. And I think if you bring like an extreme seriousness to it, you only lose sight of why you're doing it. So I just think that, be goofy, do some, weird raunchy stuff and just, put a smile on someone's face. And that, in my mind, that's much more rewarding than, just kind of taking things way too serious and then maybe the day not going my way and then just kind of being pissed off at myself and all this ridiculousness. So I just think that, just know why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah. And it seems like to you, like you have a pure love for what you're doing and you want to maintain that, and that's always been fun. Do you have any like mantras or any like mental games you play during a race like this? Like you've been to enough hundreds, you've been out there long enough in terms of like time wise where you and I both know that after you can only be so competitive for so long before you're like, okay, like I can't be in this space anymore. Like I gotta distract myself. What do you use to distract yourself or to like talk yourself out of those low moments?
Well, unfortunately, I used to kind of be a bit of a mental runner. I definitely, as you can tell from the UTMB side of things or the ultra sign up side of things, I've got some drops, and unfortunately
happens to all of us.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of it came down to the mental component of just like, maybe not being into it at the moment or just like forgetting why I was doing it or, just bad falls or something. But yeah, my mantra for a lot of my races recently is, and since you lived in Salt Lake City, West Grandeur, that's pretty much one of the hardest trails around. So my mantra, even for Speed Go, it being so local and everything was, this isn't as hard as West Grandeur. So it's like, you
always have that peak to like compare it to, like it could be worse.
Like I think, my heart rate was as high as it's ever been on West Grandeur pushing. So it's like, there's not many tremendous amount of places where it's much harder than that. So in my mind, I'm just like, like this isn't West Grandeur, but it's hard.
No, I absolutely love that. And you've talked a little bit about nutrition. How has your nutrition plan evolved over the the recent months and years?
Well, I finally got a sweat test last year, and I'd been using Precision, and it was fantastic. And I'd ran Finn Melanson's race this year, Twisted Fork 68K, 69K technically. But so ultimately I figured out that I was taking in enough gels, but I would only drink like maybe half a bottle an hour of liquids. And I was just, vomiting profusely in a lot of my races. And, I think we all get fixated on carbs for, it used to be just how many calories you're taking. Now we've kind of went over to carbs. And once I got that sweat test and I realized, wow, like my numbers are pretty average, but I was only getting in maybe a quarter of what I should have been getting in. It was very quick for me to be like, okay, like I need to change this. So it really put things into perspective for me. And then I race Speed Goat pretty soon after the sweat test, and it went quite well. So
I read no puking at the finish line this year,
yeah,
so.
yeah, no falling on your face at the finish line, no puking. Like, I still got fifth, but with a field like that, it was, 5 guys within 7 minutes of being with each other. It could have been anyone's day. So I think ultimately just like really carrying a lot more hydration now versus just cramming goos in and hoping for the best.
Right. So you've kind of changed like your whole kit setup. You're taking more bottles out there with you. Are you a vest guy, belt guy?
Used to just be a belt guy, but I've definitely been training a ton with a vest. So I used a vest at Speedgoat and stuff just to carry those extra bottles. Because if you're drinking frequently, the weight will get lighter as you go.
Right. I think that's one thing most people think about how it feels like once it's fully loaded, your UTMP pack, and you're just like, holy goodness, well, I'm not going to run up a mountain. It's like, oh, it'll be gone in half an hour.
Literally.
Like, it should be pretty, you should be emptying this thing out every so often.
Exactly.
I historically have always been an anti-vest guy, but like I do it because I know it's what's best. And I do think that we've seen some things like change in our sport in terms of like, it was all about calorie. First, it was like fat adapted. Then it was all about the calories. Now it's about like grams of carbohydrate. And I think we're learning as a sport like how to combine all those things. And the science is burgeoning as well. Absolutely love to see it happen. And it's putting out great athletes such as yourself. Oh man. So I mean, you and it's the also fun thing about it is it's no secret. Everybody has access to this. So it's just going to keep pushing the sport forward. Last question set for you that I kind of have in mind is, we've talked about kind of what you're excited about, what keeps you running, why you want to be out here, those kind of things. Like, we're going to have a great day out there tomorrow. We've all envisioned it, I see Grant, like, I'm not gonna lie, I've got you on my podium. I'm not gonna tell you where, but I got you somewhere on that podium. I know what you're capable of. On your best day, what do you feel like you're capable of out here? Do you have a time, or do you just want to race the competition for a placement?
I think a goal is, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't here for the money, to be totally honest with you.
$20,000, man. It's good money.
The rent is due, so we need to, do something to get going. But I mean, honestly, I've, with the amount of people I know that have ran this race, Jimmy Elam, Tyler Green, and Adam Loomis, and Anthony Costales, I've gotten plenty of the, hey man, this is much harder than you think it's going to be. So
always,
and I love that I'm already have that mindset of like, don't go out fast. Like, this is going to be really hard. Have legs for Olympian going out. But ultimately, like, I want to win, honestly, like, if we're being totally honest. But I just really want to have a good day and show that, like, I can nail a 100-miler and, like, feel pretty good by the end of it. So ultimately, I would love to have some camaraderie out there and, a couple other people that kind of want to go for it later in the race. And I think running through the night's always easier for somebody else. So, I'm just hoping that, we can all have some good old-fashioned teamwork out there. But, ultimately want to come away with it.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love the attitude. I think camaraderie competition is my favorite type of competition. You want the best for your friends and teammates and other people out there, because it will bring out the best in you.
Totally.
So last question I have, and I'd like to ask this of everybody. If you could do a shakeout run with anyone, any time in history, who would it be? It's a big question. I know.
It is. Well, the person I've always looked up to in the sport of ultra running just happens to be outside, Carl Meltzer. And
Speed goat.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually ran against Carl Meltzer in 2019 at the No Business 100-miler, and I got absolutely slayed by him, and we ran a good 50 miles together per se, and I just learned a tremendous amount from him about the sport and just everything. So Carl Meltzer's always been like my number one idol. So hopefully I can go outside and have a shakeout with him right now.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody knows about this sport and how to do 100 miles, it's that guy.
Exactly.
He's mastered it.
Yeah, I mean, he was a ski bum at Snowbird Ski Resort. I was a ski bum for 3 years at Alta Ski Resort. So, a lot of
he's passing the torch, is what it sounds like.
Yeah,
yeah, mini speed goat over here.
The ski bums unite.
I love it. Well, Grant, anything else you want to throw out there? Anyone you want to shout out? Your crew, your friends?
Shout out to the race director, Fred, because I could not find a partner at all. And he was extremely awesome about emailing me back immediately. We probably have 25 different emails to each other just trying to find a partner, and everyone's already suited up. So he finally got me a partner, Erica, and yeah, we are the killer rabbits, so watch out for us.
I love it. I love it, Grant. Well, best of luck out there tomorrow. I hope you get the rest of the day to recover, get off your feet so that you can put in a pretty big day and night, because it's Run Rabbit. It's always going to have to be a night. Gotta love it, what Fred puts out there. But yeah, no, good luck to you, and we'll see you out at the start line.
Yeah, thanks.